Welcome to Northwynd 2, Episode 19. In this episode, I'm going to be taking on the challenge of soloing Bastion of Power, and I am level 19. I was pretty much capped after the last episode, but since then I did Genesis Point, and did that on R2. I put up a group, a couple people joined me, and that went really well. And next we did Sins of Attrition, and because we did so well on R2 in the Genesis Point, we decided to step Sins up to R3, and that was a little more challenging. You know, we did fine, but definitely had some close calls in there. There's a lot of mobs in that quest, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed. Luckily, we had a charming wizard with us, and that made things a lot easier. After that, we did a new invasion. Just did that one on R1 because the end fight is a giant pain in the butt. And, you know, I intended to solo the end fight. I didn't want to ask anybody else that was with us to do it, so I wanted to make sure that I could do that. I didn't want a chance doing it on higher difficulty. Even if I'm on like Gingerspyce or Voodoo, I'm only going to do that quest like on R2, because again, soloing the end fight, and soloing the end fight is easiest, because when you get a big group down there, it can turn into a giant mess. So it's best if you can someone to solo it. Soloing it beyond about R2 can get pretty rowdy. So anyways, I soloed the end fight, a new invasion, on R1, and it was very easy. I feel like I could have done it on R2, but again, I wouldn't want to have tried to be on that. And so now I'm going to do the final Tower of Despair flagging quest, which is Bastion of Power, and that'll get me enough Yugoloth favor to get more Yugoloth potions. These are the +2 stacking con ones that I've been using all series, but I'd probably pick up some wisdom ones to help me out in epics after this one. Enhancements. So I've worked up to the next tier of healing amplification. I also picked up heroism, and I can tell now that I'm not going to have enough action points to get everything that I wanted. I would like to get another point of wisdom here, I'd like to get the greater heroism here, and I'd like to get the next tier of healing amplification there. That's 6 more points. I'm only going to get 4 more, so I'm going to have to make some sacrifices and some adjustments to my build post. But if I had, you know, stacks of racial past lives, then I might have some extra, you know, a couple extra racial action points would be really helpful. On the Reaper point side, still 11,000 away from my 9th point, but this is where things are right now. For the wolf, I am going to have the wolf out for this episode, but I suspect he's just going to die right away. And if he does, I'll just put him away. But we'll start with him, see how it goes. I haven't had the wolf out in a few levels, so we'll see. But the gear has not changed in a few levels. On the enhancement side, I have worked up to Opportunistic Bite 3 and Lupine Onslaught 2. For my spells, for my extra 9th level spell, I picked up 9th level Icy Soul. Not really necessary to pick that one up anymore, because you get it automatically when you switch to Water Elemental form if you have the Tier 5 Elemental Mastery. So that's a nice convenience when you're switching back and forth from water to fire, that's automatically applied. But there wasn't really anything else to take. The only other spell, you know, the only possible other spell is Anger of the Noonday Sun. Again, that's an auto grant when you have that enhancement, so it's kind of a useless slot at this point. And I also picked up Sunbeam. I had that earlier, but then needed to get rid of it. Now I've picked it up again. I don't use Sunbeam very often, but if I am spamming, then that was one that I might include in my spell rotation. Gear. I think this video is going to run long, so I'm not going to go over the gear because it is exactly the same as last episode. I'll say a couple things. I did add a strength +4 augment to the red slot of the Wild Frost. That's kind of a strange place to put a strength augment, but there's no, weapon damage augment that would be meaningful to me, or at least that I have access to. So, maybe if I had a Meteoric Star Ruby, it might be fun to put in there just for fun, but, I'm not doing melee DPS. So it was the only slot I had open, and a little extra strength, makes it so that I'm not, walking around encumbered all the time. If I wasn't able to do that, I would have to cast Bull Strength on myself. So it saves a little bit of mana. But if, I know I said this before earlier on, but I'll say again, if you were more serious about doing this build and you knew you wanted to do this build over many lives, you would want to get the Bracers of Wind and the Cloak of Flames, and have those set aside for every level range instead of upgrading them like I have. And you'd also want to upgrade those within their level ranges to the maximum tier. Each level range one, like the level 15 one, for example, you can upgrade that to tier 2 and tier 3, and then it actually adds extra slots in addition to for some of the level ranges. The stats get a little bit better. So, if this was more a long-term tune, I definitely would want to have upgraded this. I would have extra slots on both of the bracers and the cloak. So that would have been nice to have those slots. I don't, but I did have the slot in the sickle, so the ice sickle. So I put it there. All right, and on the feat side, nothing new for level 18. So let's get to the quest. Okay, we're going to try it on R2. I think this quest is going to be challenging. There are lots of mobs, easy to spike a dungeon alert, and there's no way around it. The dungeon alert mechanic in this quest is kind of messed up because you can aggro mobs like on different floors, and there's just nothing you can do about that. So I'm a little bit worried about that. There's also some randomness. These levels are a little bit mazy, and you're looking for levers that can be, that are random. So, if I have to clear out the whole place, then, that could take a long time and a lot of extra resources that I might not have. So I'm worried about that, and I'm also worried about the end fight. The end fight's pretty intense, so we'll see what happens. This is a quest that I've never tried, or I've never done a video solo on a Druid before, because prior to update 38, it was extremely difficult, if not about impossible, for a caster Druid to solo this, because there are a lot of these portals that spawn mobs here, and as a caster Druid prior to update 38 didn't have a real good way to DPS those portals. But now, after update 38, we can make our fire and cold spells affect anything. So being able to damage and DPS those portals with cold spells makes all the difference. Okay, let's see how it goes. So you have an environmental effect of greater heroism down here, so I don't need to cast the GH on myself, although I did the heroism just because it was on my buff bar, but in any event. Mobs are just going to keep spawning here. Need to get these portals beat down. Now you don't have to destroy the portals to advance, but mobs are going to keep spawning, and to try to keep the dungeon alert down, it's definitely a good idea to beat down most of them. Mirage wants to tangle with that devil. So like I said, the levels are a little bit mazy. The pathing through them is what's random. The exits are always in the same location, but how you get to them is what can change, or what does change each instance. Lots of mobs. served. Eric's gotta die. I can already tell this is going to be resource intensive. I'm just gonna get rid of Mirage, because I don't have time to heal him. So, you know, I've learned that the wolf, you know, was useful up to about mid-teen levels or so, and then, yeah, not so much after that. But it was good to learn in this series that the wolf is helpful in Reaper mode. You know, I'm definitely gonna have to make some changes to my build post, and correct that, because I was saying, you know, it's just useless, that the wolf was just good for lever pulling, and that was it. But I found it helpful. And with more stacks of Druid past lives, it would be even more so. So if you're just doing low skull, yeah, have the wolf out. One round of Creeping Cold and Greater Creeping Cold is enough to take out those portals. One kind of little cheaty thing that you can do to help out a little bit in this quest is, you know, you can use your target non-combat targetables to sort of look down the different paths to see if you can get that lever to show up in your targeting circle here, your focus orb. But I'm not picking up any lever yet, so. Oh, I meant to pick up the level 19 spell point or spell power pots, but I forgot to. Want to be patient, keep myself healed. This will be the last heroic episode, and I go into epics. I am worried about epics. Epics tend to be harder than heroics by about a skull, maybe even two. And I do remember in the first series that when I got into epics, it was rough. I was soloing epic elites, and it was very challenging. I think after I clear this room, I'm gonna bring Leary out. I'm gonna need it. There are lots of shrines in this quest, but it's certainly possible that it could take a while for me to get to that first one. So we'll get Leary to help us out. Seem to be holding up to the mobs alright. I mean, they're definitely getting some hits on me, but ooh, I need to eat my candies. Ooh, there's a guy down there. I don't want him coming down here and aggroing us. So we'll move away a little bit. Thank you, Illyri. nothing there, but I'm gonna pull down the gate anyways. Mark is the priority. I want to get him out of here. Nothing in here. Ooh, remnant. I'm getting close to being able to buy another upgrade tome. Oh, I wanted to mention as well that, you know, I decided to pick up my Giant Hold Saga, and I got a, oops, I think it was a concentration tome. Yeah, it says +1. Hey, there's one of my levers now. These levers are random, so you gotta look around for them. I'm looking for two. Oh, look at that! How awesome is that? Now, the exit for this level is always down here in the south, so I need to work my way down there. But I don't know how to get there for sure, because the pathing will change. You know, there are going to be walls and gates up in different locations in every instance. So I'm going to try to snake my way around the outside. And hope that this takes me there. But, you know, this could be a dead end. And here I am. Here's where I want to be. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this portal. And this is good timing too, because I'm running low on resources. Ooh, Fear Reaper. And there is a shrine right on the other side of that gate. Let's see if we can finger the gelatinous cube. Yes, we can. Carnage Reaper. We can handle situations like that. We'll even use the regular version of Word of Balance there, because we don't want a Carnage Reaper lingering. Okay, now we'll deal with these clowns. I do have my bobble though, so there's a little bit extra mana, which I'm going to go ahead and hit, even though the shrine is right there, because I know that there are going to be some mobs coming down from those stairs when I get into that shrine room, and I think I want to take those guys out before I shrine. My leaves drop, telling me I need to throw a fresh Spring's Resurgence on myself. And I threw a Creeping Cold on the Orthon. Greater Creeping Cold. Took him right out. Yeah, I'll take that Lost Soul. There are those mobs I was talking about. Some of them, they're more up top. Stun that caster. That guy got knocked down either from my air guard on my bracers or my knockdown proc from the Autumn Winds enhancement. That guy right there. Two different knockdown procs going on. Probably going to be a portal here. Yeah, I'm going to take that out because I've got the mana. Use it up before I shrine. Let's see what a heal hits me for on R2. 289. What's my healing amplification? Probably embarrassing, but... Oops. Over the hit points, 75. Not very good. Not terrible. But I'd certainly like to have better. Okay, so On the second floor, the exit is always right here. The pathing to get to the exit is what changes, but I know that that's where I want to go. And that's a dead end. Wouldn't it have been nice if it wasn't and I could just go zoop? Sometimes you get that. Sometimes you get a nice smooth instance, but hey, you know what? Our levers were right next to each other, so I'll take it. Ooh, let me do a summons. A fire elemental isn't going to do any DPS to these mobs, you know, but it's a distraction. It's a free distraction. You know, the mobs will aggro on it instead of me, so why not? Let's give it a freedom and that and death ward. Why not? Because we can. Maybe those buffs will make it live 5 seconds longer, right? Maybe that'll be 1 or 2 more hits that it will take instead of me, and that's the point. That looks like a dead end. Yeah, that gate there is not toggleable, so we're going to have to go around. Ooh, we got to get that soul of ice. He's a soul of ice. Yeah, we don't need a champion caster slinging spells at us. There's a little graphics bug with that gate. And that gate just went up. I gotta get rid of this cleric. Soul of Cruelty, don't like it. He's double dotting me. Where's that caster? He needs to die. Regular version of Word of Balance? Yes. Not playing around with champion casters. Probably. Let me just try the. Let's try the Finger of Death. No, that didn't work. Fresh Springs Resurgence because it just procced, so I need to renew that. Finger the Cleric. Okay, we're gonna try. Ooh, I'm getting hammered here. We're gonna try something. We're gonna, after we kill that rogue, we're gonna do Greater Creeping Cold on this rogue here to see the damage numbers. That's just Greater Creeping Cold, nothing else. So it didn't even finish ticking. It's getting some pretty good damage off of it. Oh, it would have been nice to be able to cut right across here and then go south, but there's a gate up. These are the random things. You know, like I said, the pathing changes, so they're going to make us go way around. And that's blocked off too, so wonderful. Oh, let's just finger him. Oh, again, a gate came down. Wonderful. That should come back up. We're just going to have to wait for it. But you know what we can do while we're waiting for it? Girlfriend. We can do our girlfriend. What else would you want to do while you're waiting for a gate to come up? Yeah, lost soul. I could have taken her back to the shrine and doubled up on her, but I don't think I'm going to need the mana. Because, like I said, there are lots of shrines in this. Ooh, I need to reapply my Mantled Icy Soul. So I'm going to switch to fire and switch back to cold. I don't have that spell loaded up on my hotbar, so. Remember, we can hit a mob with like a low-cost creeping cold SLA. That's going to lower its save by 4. Then hit it with the finger and still fail, because our DCs aren't very good. But it gave us a better shot. Probably going to be a portal here, yep. Throwing the Ice Storm down, that'll hurt the portal too, as well as these trash mobs. Goodbye, portal. Also, I'll take that. Probably should have been doing the Sleet Storm on top of all that. Sleet Storm's pretty cheap to cast. It's only 19 spell points. And it will make them slide around and make it harder for them to hit me. Looks like I gotta go this way. Oh, it's just the whole party. You know what? We'll just kite him. Oh, Soul of Cruelty caster. He didn't take the finger. But he took the SLAs. Oh, and a Carnage Reaper. This is what I get for thinking, oh, I'll just kite some mobs together. Cleric got fingered. What's this over here? Another cleric? He got fingered too. Okay, let's get the Creeping Cold and a Greater Creeping Cold on there. Get that gateway knocked down. Finger a bowman. Nope. How about that one? Nope. You know, I just posted episode 15 just a little while ago, and I was talking about Finger of Death in the intro, and I was saying how I like it for upper heroics, but I wouldn't, you know, bother trying to make it work in epics. But you know, if you were a pure caster druid, you know, my understanding is that, you know, you were maxing out your DCs, you could get your finger to hit reasonably well. So I know that I can't do it because I'm not a max DC caster, but you know, if you were running a pure caster, kind of a traditional caster max DC druid thing, you might be able to get your fingers to work in epics and maybe even legendaries. I know that this, you know, when I went to cap on Ginger, I was using Finger of Death in low level epics, and it was hitting sometimes. Win it. Okay, where are we at? There's my exit. I know that I got a shrine right there. I don't care about you, gelatinous cube. I'm just going for it. Oh, I have the permanent gelatinous cube dot. Okay, so a little trick you can do. If you get a permanent dot, which is a bug, but sometimes if you go back into the source of the dot and then you walk out of it like just happened, you see how I walked into it and out of the cube and then it dropped it. So you can try that, like if you get a permanent firewall dot or a permanent, like lava dot, for example, you can try jumping back into the lava and back out. It might work. If it doesn't, you have to log out and log back in. That's been a problem for a while. The devs know it. They said they're working on it. I'm going to use this little bit of mana to kill this trash in the courtyard here. I could just run by the trash, but I don't want to push the dungeon alert. I know that I got a shrine, so some greater creeping colds. Got mana to burn. Let's go ahead and pull out another fire elemental, because we can. This is where the boss comes out of. See, later on, when we get to like the next level, where is it? We're going to be walking over like a bridge. I guess it would be that bridge there. Yeah, I'll point it out too when I get there. We'll be walking over that bridge, and you'll be able to look down. I guess it's out of here. It looks like the boss comes out of here, not there. Okay, so for this part, there's no special objective here. All we're trying to do is get out and get to the next level. And the exit to this level is always right there, right above where I come in at, but the pathing to it is what changes. So sometimes you get lucky and you find a path that's real quick and easy, and sometimes you have to explore the whole place. Plague Reaper. Don't want to deal with you. Ooh, I need to get my Mantle Icy Soul back. Knocked down by the Bezakira. Oh, was that a dead end? Yes, it was. That is not a toggleable gate. You didn't want to get fingered. Ooh, getting some hits by the champ. Let's get rid of him. Oh, I got a... Is that a dot? Or that's healing. Oh, save debuff. I'm gonna finger this guy too, just to get him out of here. Okay, that's where I came in from. Oops. Hello. Wasn't even healed up yet. Changed it from Styxian to Stygian, or is it Stygian? I don't know. The name of the champion. Change the X to a G. Should be a shrine up here. Oh no, not at this one. I thought there was, but I was wrong. we're on the upper level. Remember, our exit's there. It wouldn't be that way. We're gonna have to definitely approach it from over here. And the crossover is blocked off. Gotta do my best to try to find it. And that's blocked off, so I'll have to go the other way. It's quiet in here. Too quiet. Can we finger at Bezikira? Nope. Spell resistance. There's my shrine. Where are they going? Look at them. They're so scared. I have no idea why they're running away. The pathing just got messed up. Ooh, got some mobs down here. Let's just go ahead and do the whole thing. We'll do our own personal hurricane. Greater Creeping Cold on the Quartermaster. That's a little joke there. See how he's like tiny? And he's called the Quartermaster. Get it? Little dev joke. Getting knocked down here. Gotta get rid of that Mark of Law. I need that Lost Soul. Gotta get rid of this Soulless Quartermaster. I'm just throwing Greater Creeping Colds all over the place. Okay. Well, I have a shrine to work with, and I still have my bauble. So I'm feeling pretty good. I ran out of heal scrolls? No. Okay, let me show you what I did here as soon as I thought I had another 100 stack, and I do. Let me show you something I did. And this is like a little fail-safe. Lots of mobs. Yeah, I guess I'm using that shrine out. Jeez, oh Pete. This is gonna get toit. Yeah, this is one of the scenarios that I was worried about. Oh, that cleric's healing him. Okay, cleric's dead. Pandemonium's hammering me. I can stand here and torque up a bit, though. See, these archers, I haven't really showed this at all this series, but I can sit here and shield block. They're not hitting me for that much, and you see, I just proc for 15 spell points. That's the torque. I can sit here all frickin' day. There's another 22 spell points from the torque that transform kinetic energy. There's another 20 spell points. See how often it procs? There's another 24 and another 20. I'll use some of that mana to heal myself and keep standing here. $23 more spell points, thank you. 25, 21. Every time you see the little blue numbers above my head, that's the torque procking. Let's give myself some free there's another 26 proc it looked like. Give my there's 21, 18. Use my temporary hit point clicky. My Winter's Heart. 25. See, I'm up to 452 spell points already. 26, 18. It procs a lot. And this is what you can do on this build. And you could even do this on a more traditional caster, which casters would traditionally do is get themselves like a nice big shield, like a Sky Vault or something, and, you know, put it on their torque when they got low on mana, and, you know, have a couple of archers and just sit there and torque up. And you could, I can do this, I can sit here until I get full mana. That thing will just proc, the torque will proc endlessly. But I don't need any more mana than this, so I'm going to go ahead and take him out. With the mana that they gave me. Thank you, archers, for giving me the resources to kill you. As I said before, the torque is not an optimal piece of gear, but it works really well for a tanky kind of a caster, because as a tanky caster, as a highly defensive caster, you're able to take a lot of hits, and you're putting yourself in harm's way a lot, taking a lot of hits, and therefore that torque is constantly generating mana just as you're questing, which is awesome. So now that I have all this mana to play with, I don't need that shrine right away. Hey, look at this, they gave me a champ chest too. Oh, but there's more clowns down there. Where are they all coming from? Remember I said in the beginning of this quest how, like, there's so many mobs and they can aggro, like, on other floors and stuff? This is what I was talking about. And if you're running by a lot of mobs, you know, when this garbage happens, you can spike a red dungeon alert, and that can be really, really hard to fight your way out of. Trust me, I've been there. Oh, I was going to talk about heal scrolls before I got that 10-minute sidetrack. Okay, so what I did is I bought 100 stack of the guild vendor heal scrolls. And those, you know, you get them a little bit cheaper, and they're bound to character. What I have been using is just the ones I got from the House J vendor, and those aren't bound at all, but they're more expensive. But I got 100 stack of the guild ones so that if I ran out, it would force me, because, you know, they don't stack, they won't repopulate because it's a, you know, they're coded differently. It would force me to go, hey, okay, now I know I'm running low on heal scrolls. I'm down to my last 100 stack, so that will be, you know, that's my reminder to get more. Okay, where was I? Australia. So I need to get there. I've got 559 mana. It's 106 miles to Chicago. We've got a full tank of gas, a half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark out and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. What do you say? Is it the new Bluesmobile? Fix a cigarette lighter. Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about. But there's at least one of you watching this video that's laughing right now. Running low on mana. Okay, we need to get that portal down. Ooh, Flameborn tear me up. Okay, that portal's dead. So is he. I am going to get that lost soul after I shrine. I'm really emotionally committed to this now. You know, I have worked this far. It's been a slog. There's been a lot of work. I've got to get this done. I'm worried though. I'm worried about those bosses. The end fight's no joke. I remember coming here as a noob on normal and we got obliterated. You know, and I just remember, first life wizard, had no idea what I was doing. I was just some pug, you know, I didn't know the people, and I was just like, I remember asking him, like, how, you know, we got our asses handed to us on normal. This is like end of 2009. And I remember asking these guys, I'm like, how in the world can anybody do this on elite? You know? And I remember the one guy who said, 2 words, green steel. Memories of pugs back in the day of being a noob. Okay. I'm running out of options here. Let's try... Did we already go this way? Now I'm forgetting. Okay, the crossover was blocked off. You remember when I said it was quiet? Too quiet? And then it had that big old mess here? I knew those mobs were somewhere. That was the chest from the quartermaster. This pack, by the way, you know, it's pretty much irrelevant. It's just there's not really any loot that's worth going out of your way for anymore. You know, the Tower of Despair rings. I mean, this used to be end game gear. This was end game content when I first started playing. And you know, the belts and the necklaces and the TOD rings and the set bonuses, that was end game stuff. If you had that set bonus, like your TOD ring, you were uber. Now if you're still wearing a TOD ring, you're a loser. No, the TOD rings actually, some of them can be okay. You know, they're level 18. And some of them can be okay for, like, you know, level 18, 19, maybe even the first few. Oh shoot, it didn't do any damage because I didn't have my Mantle Icy Soul on, which that's what allows me to overcome the damage reduction. And now I'm wasting spell points, and that Mark of Law is kicking my ass. Now it's taking damage from my Creeping Cold, Greater Creeping Cold. Okay, so that chest... Oh, that's weird. Yeah, okay, so there's a chest upstairs, and the way that you get that chest to open is by hitting these 3 levers simultaneously. So I don't think that can be soloed. I think you need at least 2 people to do that. In any event, that's a junk chest. I don't care. Just saying. But what's interesting, you know, because this pack is, you know, some of these quests are pretty tough for their level range, even still. And, you know, nobody wants to run Tower of Despair anymore. The loot's irrelevant. So, I'm going to chance it a little bit here. Yep, this is my exit. I'm going to do a little bit of fighting, get this dungeon alert down. And there's a Carnage Reaper. So, anyways, my point, if I can continue my concentration while I talk and play D2 at the same time. Barely. A lot of the knowledge of this content is gone. And, you know, a lot of people have moved on. You know, when I was with that pug last night that joined my LFM, like, I don't think these guys really knew how to do these quests, really, you know. like knowing what all the levers do in Genesis Point, and knowing how to get your way, get around in, this quest, and knowing how to solo the end fight, new invasion. Okay, the dungeon alert is gone. I'm just gonna leave. So like I was able to show some of those guys, last night, like how the quest works. And one of the guys afterwards sent me a tell saying thanks for the guide, which was really cool. Like Genesis Point, a lot of people, they will not go into that quest without a guide, because I think most people in this game don't know how those levers work. And if you are interested, I have a walkthrough of that quest, an explanation of what all the levers do. Okay, so here's that bridge I showed you earlier. Remember, we were down there, and there's the boss that came out of that door. Her name is Karate, not like the martial art, but it sounds the same. And we're going to be fighting her shortly. Now I'm in the final level. I've got 2 levers to pull, 2 more portals to deal with. Shield ran out. Here's Exhibit A. That is to the end fight. I should have went the other way first. Creeping Cold will finish him off. Let's go ahead and do the bobble now, just to be safe. Heal scroll. I can never target the portals using my tab, my auto targeter button, and or my targeting button, so I have to manually select it. I don't know if everybody has that problem. Here's Exhibit B, and there may be a chest down here. Yep. Since we're here, we got the mana to take care of these guys. We can blind them, make them fall with the earthquake. We can make them trip, slip around in the sleet storm. It must be really embarrassing for them. Look at them hanging their heads in shame. Oh, and the chest is locked. Wah, wah. Okay. Here's what happens. I've got 4 Orthons between me and the end fight. I'm gonna go kill them, 'cause I need all that mana for the end fight. Greater Creeping Cold. Greater Creeping Cold. I thought there were 4 Orthons, maybe just 2. I guess it's just 2. Heal thyself. Oh, Fire Elemental. Sure. Let's drink the Yugoloth before we shrine. gonna be intense. The thrilling conclusion coming up next. I'm going to buff up, and then I'm going to top off with this Lost Soul. Now I have a full mana bar, I'm fully buffed, and ready to die. If you're ever doing this with a group, be very careful up here. You want to make sure that you all gather on the other side of this gate. Don't go too far in, because that gate will come up and then lock everybody out. And then you feel bad because you can't solo the end fight. Alright. Spell Power Potion. I think that's about all I can do. Ooh, I can do... Oh no, I don't have... Nope. Oh, I need to get my Mantle Icy Soul back by switching fire and then back to cold. He's gonna anti-gravity you, throw you in the spikes, you're gonna take a lot of damage, it's scary. Need to get rid of this Hero's Soul. Need to get rid of that Cleric. There are pressure plates up there, and if you hit all 3 of them, you'll get a bonus chest. It's junk loot, so don't bother. The only way to get up there is to use when he throws you to try to navigate yourself up there, so it's really tricky to get those. And more than likely you're going to die in the process, so I recommend that you don't bother. Okay. One more Greater Creeping Cold on Arisandes. Should do the trick. And then we got Karate, the Merilith. Let's do the bobble real quick. Spell Power Boost. Temporary hit points. Heal over time spell. All 4 dots. Creeping Cold, Greater Creeping Cold, Enveloping Swarm, and Creeping Doom. Keeping the examination window up. Regenerate. We're blinding stuff. More dots, more dots, more dots. Running out of mana. Getting worried. I've got pots. I fully intend to use them. I don't want to, but if that's what it takes. Yeah, it's gonna. Okay, there's 1 pot. That should be enough. I'm way too emotionally invested in this to give up now. You can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm shield blocking. And we win! Woohoo! How about that? Oh, if I saw that Lost Soul was there in that mess, maybe I could have had that and not had to use my pot. But oh well, we got the W. That was cool. It was a fun challenge. How long did it take me? 5 years? 53 minutes, just about. So there's that locked chest that you can unlock your extra chest if you got the pressure plates that were up there. But like I said, don't bother. Or is it just a bug and I can't seem to open the chest for some reason? Sometimes that happens to me. That chest is locked. There we go. Alright. 2 chests. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. And if you have any questions about my build, you can respond to my build post in the Druid forum.